It is day 15 of my spring declutter challenge, and today's task is something that I actually would not recommend doing if you are doing your own declutter challenge. I am tackling all of our holiday decor today, and the reason why I would say not to do this is not because I don't think you should declutter your decor, but it's because I think it's the wrong time of year to do it. If you're going to declutter your items, I always recommend doing it as you set up your decorations for the season. Like anything that you're not putting up, get rid of it. And at the end of the season, get rid of anything that you decided, I don't like this doesn't fit in my home, or this does not bring me joy, or anything that you're like, you know what? I thought I'd put it up, I decided not to, or, just anything you just don't like. So it is the end of April. It is not a specific holiday time. I would not recommend doing this now. I've been meaning to do this for a couple years after I undecorate for each season. I don't really decorate necessarily for the seasons. I do change out my pillowcases a few times during the year. For my living room, I decorate for the fall, I decorate for Christmas and winter, and I have a spring wreath that I put on our front door. But other than that, I don't really have a lot. But just those times of year, like the fall, the winter, are always so busy that I'm not taking the time. So I'm going to do that today. I really could use more storage space downstairs in the basement, or at least room for my items to breathe a little bit more, because some of my containers are very difficult to put away and get out. If I can make that easier, that would be amazing. And they could just use like a good reorganization. I have Easter, Halloween, and Thanksgiving items all in one bin, and then I have quite a few Christmas and winter bins. I have one big bin of ornaments that we have not put on our tree in at least 2 years. I have no idea what's even in there. So I'm assuming a lot of that is going to go bye-bye today. So let's get do this. I'm going to, don't really want to, but I'm actually going to bring all of the bins up here today, which is a lot physically, but I've been dealing with a lot of seasonal depression this year, so being in my basement is just something that I just physically and mentally am really struggling with lately. And although it is gloomy outside today, there's a little bit of sunshine, so I need to just soak that up as much as I can. So my goal is to bring all the bins up here, sort through them one bin at a time, declutter as I go, and I think I'm going to put a movie or something on just to kind of like entertain myself, because I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this, but I've put it off long enough. We can do hard things. Enough talk. Let's do this. Here's a quick look at our storage room in our basement. I have our 2 Christmas trees tucked over to the side here. And then on this black shelving unit is where a lot of our gift wrap is, but also where all of our Christmas holiday decor boxes and bins are. It's really nice to have them all together, but as you can see, it's kind of tight in here, which makes it hard to put things away, like this wreath that I still haven't put away. And it's the end of April. So I'm going to start by bringing all of the bins and boxes of decor upstairs to the living room. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It only took me 5 minutes to bring it all up, but this is my least favorite part of decorating, is bringing everything up. But here's a look at my pile of bins and things to go through before I actually start. I decided I was going to start really easy by going through this bin. This holds our Easter, fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving decor. Apparently I also had flowers in here. which were falling apart every time I touched them, which made me remember I needed a garbage bag. Always get a garbage bag before you start any decluttering project. I know this. I'm still really, really bad at remembering to do this. No matter when you decide to go through your decor, which I do recommend you do, so whether you're doing it as you're decorating or at another point in the year when you have time, I recommend doing a bin at a time and pulling everything out and looking at it as a group. That way you can kind of see what you have. I'm going through our glow sticks. So there are things that I buy for Halloween that aren't candy. We buy candy, but then I do like glow sticks and Play-Doh and things like that, and stickers for, little kids or kids who don't want candy. So I was going through the glow sticks to see if they were even working, and it took a lot of effort to even get the littlest bit of glow for that glow stick. So I'm like, we're just going to let that go because kids are not going to be excited about a glow stick that barely works. And then I'm just trying to tidy things up as I go, like my leaf garland had not gotten put back in its bag. So making sure that's put away safely. Taking out a couple of wreaths that my son made in preschool. I homeschooled both of my boys for preschool, and we did wreaths with my youngest when he was learning how to tie his shoes as just extra practice for figuring out how to tie things. One of them needed to be fixed, which I ended up fixing before putting it back in the container. But just going through and deciding, what do I need? What do I not need? I got rid of our Easter eggs because this was the first year I've since becoming a parent, we didn't do an Easter egg hunt, but a lot of our eggs are broken and mismatched anymore, so decided it's time to let those go. Just bagging up the Play-Doh so when Halloween comes this year, I'll be able to find it easily. And as I'm looking at my pile, I'm realizing I can totally downsize this. So we actually did have an empty under the bed storage box. And I'm like, I think I might actually be able to fit everything in this bin, which was pretty exciting. As I said, I don't really decorate a lot. I just like hints of the holidays, just because too much makes me feel really stressed out. Oh, I'm fixing the turkey wreath right now. It needed a new toothpick to hold the styrofoam eye in. But too much decorations overwhelms me while they are up. Plus, it's a lot of work to put them up, and then it feels like 10 times more work to undecorate. I don't want to add that stress to my life, especially, in the fall and winter time. So I do more hints of seasons, which is why I really don't have much decor. It just works out better for me, and I feel like it's a more clutter-free option. So one bin for 3 basically holidays/seasons, I feel like that's a really, really nice thing to have. All right, I'm trying to figure out where to go from here. I put the wreath box over because that holds 2 wreaths, and I'm like, that's fine, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm trying to get the rest of our Christmas and winter decor to fit in this green bin. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it my all. So pulling everything out, giving everything a once over. I think I actually did get rid of a couple things this past Christmas, so I wasn't anticipating to get rid of anything, but still pulling it all out, looking at everything, trying to figure out, can this all fit in this bin? And if not, can I get it to fit in 2 bins? What is the best way to do this? But first, as you can tell, my snowflake garland definitely did not get put away properly, so taking time to do that now, just to try to keep things nice and keeping it in good condition for longer. And at this point, I was distracted by the movie, and I really didn't even want to be working on this project this day. I was feeling a little overwhelmed because seeing the pile of decorations and the size of the bin, I knew that this probably wasn't going to work. But we were going to still try our best. So I'm trying to put the big bulky items in first, like the non-breakable items, trying to fit those in, because if I have to use a smaller bin for the other stuff, it's easier to put the smaller, squishier stuff in there. So just trying to methodically figure out the best way to do this. I do like sharing my struggles because, as I'm doing this for a business and I've been doing this so long, I know it can look like it comes really easy to me when you may watch a video or a short, or like you may hear me talk about a project, but this is very real. Like, I go back and forth a lot when I'm trying to figure out the best organization systems for things. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that I was really struggling this day doing the project as a whole, trying to reorganize things. The struggle was real. So I got it to fit in the green bin and an under the bed storage bin. Feeling pretty good about that. I have 2 empty containers now. I had 1 empty one to start with, but now that I have 2, that is giving me the motivation to keep going. Now I'm going on to the bin that we have not touched in 2 years. And immediately I find garbage and a box full of empty bags. We use like the plastic grocery bags as like stuffing to protect the broken, not the broken, but the fragile ornaments to keep them from getting broken. That box was empty and just full of those bags. Here in New York, we can't get those bags anymore, so I was really excited to have those bags again. And then I found another box full of bags. That's 2 boxes that have been sitting there taking up space. So I was a little frustrated with myself, but going through the ornaments, a lot of these were ones that are my kids' personal ones that they just didn't want on the trees anymore, but I don't know if they're going to want them later. And then there are some ornaments in here that I'm not sure why we haven't been putting them on our tree, because we kind of do like a rustic, outdoorsy kind of vibe for our tree, and some of these would be perfect for them. And I even found an ornament that is really important to my husband and I that I don't know why it was never put in the other box. So I was very excited to find that. So I'm getting 3 boxes ready, 1 for each of my kids, and I'm going to put their ornaments into their boxes to try and like see, are they each going to get their own little box to put with their memory things, or, are they going to just go through these later? I wasn't quite sure what the plan was, like fully fleshed out, but I figured at least getting each kid's ornaments separated, knowing that they don't want them or don't really care if they're on the tree right now, is a good next step to this. So I'm just sorting through them and trying to remember whose ornament is who. Luckily, there were some dates on them, so that really helps me figure it out. But all in all, I was feeling a little frustrated with myself. Like, I was feeling good because like I emptied out a couple containers already, but this big bin has been taking up space, like physical space in my basement, and then space in my brain, knowing that I need to just sit down and go through this. And it was half empty. Things I've been missing were in here. And a lot of it was just my kids' stuff that could just be put into smaller boxes. Like, trying to not beat myself up about it. It was a little hard. So the leftover ornaments that do not belong to my kids, I kept all of them, I think, except one. So that heart ornament was the one that was missing. That's my husband and I. It was from our first Christmas as husband and wife. Our wedding color was like a cranberry red, and so that was like the charm hanging from it. And then our theme was the double silver hearts. So to find an ornament the year we got married that was the silver heart with the little heart, like the red heart gem, was perfect. That goes front and center on our tree. It's been missing for 2 years. So the fact that I've been putting off going through this bin for 2 years, when most of it was empty, the ornament that I really missed was in there. And a lot of the stuff in there, like, is my kids or just, things that I actually would put on the tree. I can't believe that, like, I just put it off for so long. I'm really trying to not beat myself up about it still. But it's one of those things, like, the mental load of knowing that bin was there. I should have just taken the time to do it earlier. You'd think I'd learn. I still struggle with this and the procrastination. So if you struggle with that as well, you're not alone. you are not alone. So I ended up deciding, because the kids' ornaments didn't really fit in the box as well, there's a lot of empty space, that I was going to put them each in a gallon Ziploc bag and then put them in one box together. I didn't have a box the right size, but for now it works. Progress over perfection, am I right? So just making sure that they're all there, they're labeled, it's easy to see what's in the bag. I can take care of it later. My poor dog could not figure out what was going on. He likes to nap during this time, and here I am in the living room, like, trashing it and all that stuff. So having a quick water break, and I decided I think I'm going to redo the organization that I just did for the normal Christmas/winter decor. I wanted to see if I could get it down to one bin. So I pulled the wreath out of the bin and then was tucking all of the smaller things into the space in there where the wreath had been, and everything fit. And I was really excited about it. And then I thought that maybe perchance I could fit the 3 wreaths in this bin. I have 4 wreaths, but I'm always storing at least 3 of them. Sometimes I'm storing 2. So I have a spring wreath, a spring/summer wreath, which is up on my door now. I have a fall wreath, and then I have 2 Christmas wreaths, one for each of our front doors. So I was hoping I could get them to store here, because every time I open up the wreath box, I'm afraid a mouse has made a nest in there. So something to protect them a little bit better would be great. And they fit, which is incredible. And now it is time to do the most important part of organizing. I don't care what you use for storage. I don't care if it's pretty, if it matches, if it's a box, if it's a bin, plastic container. I don't care. But you need to label your bins. I prefer to use either business cards, because my art business, I need to get new ones that match my brand better. So I'm trying to use up my business cards as best as I can. So these are a great size. So I just flip them over to the white side, write my label on them, and then use packaging tape to stick them on, and I put them on either side. So it doesn't matter which way we put our bin onto our shelf, you can see what is in the container. I've also used index cards. I cut them in half to make them smaller. I've used scrap paper. I've used pieces of duct tape. I don't care what you use. I know some people will actually write with permanent marker on the bin. If that works for you, great. But because I change my bins so often, I don't want to see and get confused by old labels. So I choose to not do that. But if that works for you, great. I don't care what you do. Just make sure you label them. I know that there's this thing going around now on social media, or it's been going on for like a year, I think. But they put QR codes on the labels, QR code labels on your bins. And then you can scan the QR code and it'll tell you what's in your bin. That's great. However, I want to see at a glance what is in my bin. I don't want it to stand and scan all the QR codes. So if you do like a quick label, like Christmas decor with a QR code, if that works for you, great. I'd rather write stockings, ornaments, tree skirt, or wreaths, or my geek tree, because we put up a tree that has all of our geeky, nerdy ornaments on it. Whatever works for you, but just please make sure you label your bins. My poor dog is trying to tell me he wants to get up on his love seat and take a nap, and I am just so focused and in the groove finally with this project. I'm ignoring his needs. The poor man just wanted a nap, and I'm oblivious. I'm also watching like one of my most favorite movies. It's an animated movie. It's like a comfort movie to me. It has the best villain song in it. So if you've been able to guess what movie I'm watching by the little bit you can see, we're best friends. We're best friends. Not everybody knows this movie, but it's one of my favorites. So if you can figure out what movie I'm watching, let me know in the comments. We will be best friends forever. But yes, best villain song in this movie. and then just trying to finish these up. My poor dog. I'm just, it is breaking my heart watching this, seeing how much I'm neglecting him. And then finally, I realized, hold on, you want a nap. Let me move this stuff. Let me get out of your way. Come take a nap, buddy. Bad mom moment right here. But here are the things that we are getting rid of. And then here are things that need to go elsewhere. So the Crayola ornaments are actually going to my art studio. Then the kids' ornaments right there. 3 empty bins. So excited about that. And then I only have 5 bins of decor for the entire year. It's amazing. And then here's a quick look at the shelf after. It makes me so happy seeing how much space I have now. And now I have a little bit more room to kind of rearrange all of these other bins and try to get more space so these items are easier to get in and out. But thank you so much for watching today. I hope it was encouraging and inspiring. Happy decluttering. I'll talk to you later. Bye.